Hi everybody, this is Sam with Python Basics, and we are going to do a fairly sophisticated video tonight, and done this a little bit differently. I'm actually going to try to put this into a playlist, not of subjects, but leading up to. So if there are parts that you don't understand of this or you need more in depth, I've done videos on them, and there should be 4 of them. So, but we're going to do lowest common denominator. So, real quick, if you don't understand what lowest common denominator is, go and just look it up. But basically, it's a math term. You have 2 terms, and you can do more, but how about we just do 2 so we don't get too sophisticated. So that it is just the smallest number that is a divisor that goes into both numbers. So if you don't understand it, go look it up. So alright, we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. So make sure I'm in frame. Okay. Alright, so we'll just get started with this. And I will have these all together. Max and min, and or. Max and min are the functions we're going to use. Range function, just did a video on that the other night because we're going to use variable replacements. So we'll have these all together. So lowest common denominator, x, y. These are our 2 digits. Okay, so we're not going to make this too fancy. We're going to keep this pretty simple and clean. So alright, we're going to do a for loop for I in range now. So start, stop, and step. So we don't care if it's 1, right? So we're going to start with 2. Now here's where it gets a little fancy. If you don't get this about variable replacement, go and watch the last video. It's range with using variables. So alright, out of these 2 numbers, we only want to go up to and include the lowest one. So what is the easiest way without doing some fancy or complicated decision? We're just going to use the min function because we want the smallest number out of these 2, just the smallest number, and we want it to be included. And if you don't understand what that means or why we're adding 1, go look at the range function video. But we want it to include the number, so we have to add 1. So this is going to grab the smallest number of these 2, add 1, and go from there. So now we need to make some decisions. And this part, if you don't get this notation, I have a video right before this one that the way to decide what the lower to get the lower number in the denominator. So now we're also going to need to have these be a divisor. So a quick reminder of the modulo key. So if I want to know what the remainder is of 4 divided by 2, it's 0 because it goes in evenly. So then a test of if it is, we can do 4 divided by 2 equals 0. What do we think is going to happen? We get true because this is a test. Whenever you see double equals, it's a test. Single equals is a reminder. So we'll actually even throw in the modulo video into this playlist. So alright, so now we need to use max because what we're doing here is we're testing the max divided by modulo I. And alright, so what we're doing here, now that we know that this is going to start with 2, this is going to be our smallest of these 2 numbers to be included. That's why we're adding the 1. So it's going to start at 2 and work its way up. So each time through this loop, it's going to take the larger number, divide it into the largest of the two, and test and see if it's a divisor, just like this. Now, I made a quick comment that we're also going to use our keyword and. There's going to be if you don't understand what and does, there's a video for that, and it will be in a playlist tied to this, but the video is and or. Okay, so for them to be common, it has to be evenly divided into our larger number and evenly divided into our smaller number. So, same type setup, and it has to be both. So this keyword would be and then we have to do our test of evenly divided. It has to be a divisor for this to work, so being divided into by our increment with an output with a remainder of 0. So now print I. So now if we were to run this, let's run this on lower common denominator. Let's do 21 and 7. And I've left off something right here for a reason. So let's run this, see what we get. Well, that'll be 7. Let's do 8 and 2. So there's a perfect example. So okay, because right here what this is happening is it's going through and it is continuously checking up into the point where it gets to the smaller number, which is 4. But we only want one output. So right now we're not using return, we're just using print. If we were to use return here, it would kill everything and stop. But since we are just using print, when we reach this condition, and it's going to print out what I is at the time, then I want it to cancel and break. So this is very important if you're just printing it to the screen, because now it's just 2. And then we test another one, we already did this, and 7, and so on. So if we did 18 and 3, but if we got rid of the break, it'd be more. So this is a very small, simple way to find out the lowest common denominator, and we have a lot of different things here. We're using a range function with variable replacement, max and min functions with a modulo, keyword and another keyword a break. So this is an outstanding practice for algorithms for some mathematics, and we're doing this in just 4 little lines of code, I guess 5 if you want to count the header. But don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, and please leave comments below. Those are very, very helpful, because we've gotten some video ideas and been able to answer a lot of questions. So please keep them coming. So thanks guys. Hope you guys are getting something out of this, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.